All right, my friends, happy Sunday fun day to you. Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Sunday, the 26th of September 2021. We've got the moon connecting with the North Node today in the sign of Gemini, creating a trine over there to the sun at 3 degrees in the sign of Libra. It is Libra season. We've got Mars at 7 degrees of Libra. We have Mercury station retrograde at 25 degrees of Libra, opposing Eris and squaring Pluto. What does all of this mean? It means we're on a journey of self-discovery. It means there's going to be complications along the way. It means we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to use our wits about us. We're going to have to use our logic. We're going to have to step up. Saturn here in the sign of Aquarius. There's been a lot of learning this year of 2021 on who we are amongst our peers, who we are in the community. Not just community, but this, this is outside your home, let's say. Cancer is like home. Leo is like your personality, your ego. This is yourself. So it's like my emotions and myself. So then over here, we've got, like big business, and then we've got like the community at large. So when we're talking about the community at large, this could also mean your work peers, not just, associates and friends, or friends, So this is like understanding what is your role in your job that you play. Sure, your boss has hired you to be the boss of your particular position, if you will. So it's like stepping up and owning that power and seeking the ways that you can better oneself, learn more information, whether this is regarding the job, whether this is regarding your personal relationships, releasing and letting go. One of the big things that's going on here with Venus still creating the opposition to Uranus, Venus in its fall. It's like it's autumn here in the northern hemisphere. And it's like very few people call it autumn anymore. They just say fall. And the reason we call it fall is because this is where, in the northern hemisphere, when the sun hits Libra, it's in its descent. It's going down. It's continuing to go down, 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 down to, it's crossed the equator, going down to the solstice, the lowest point in the sky for the northern hemisphere. And of course, rising up for my friends down in Australia. So fall. So Venus is in its fall. Venus is tucked back, hidden emotions. I've got to guard my emotions. This is my power play. It's across from Uranus, which the Uranus is like, let's shake things up. It's like, screw your little safety zone, screw your comfort zone. And it's so funny as like those words came out of my mouth, I'm seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger who's like, screw your freedoms. It's like, it's not the same like that. Like, forget about freedoms. But this is like, here it is. Fears, old conditions, and this is a lot dealing with the South Node connection too. They keep us safe, but ultimately they hold us back from reaching our potential. It's powerful, So it's like when we're playing our hands so close to chest, we're afraid. In this sense, it's like you're the bear, you're the jaguar, you're the apex predator. You have nothing to run from. You're not a gopher. You're not a groundhog or a little squirrel running to hide from hawks. The predator from above that's going to come get you. No, you're the apex predator. There's nothing to fear. And when we have that fear again, the fear teaches us something, but ultimately, by not leaning into and discovering our own shadow, by not leaning into and discovering and moving beyond those places of comfort, it's ultimately self-limiting and can be harmful. So that's up to us though. What are we willing to do? What are we willing to step into? And then there's always extremes. It's just like, well, I was going into the unknown. Aaron said to go do, step outside of my comfort. It's like, oh, I'm going to try crack today. It's like, there is internal discernment, if you will. But we're dealing with other people. We're dealing with stepping outside of our comfort zone. Venus is everything you love, you want, and desire. Shaking things up here with Uranus. We have the moon and the north node today about seeking information, creating a quincunx, sesqui square, not a quincunx. They're kind of similar. That's that energy in the blind spot. Are you, by seeking information or communicating, is this going to put you in jeopardy? It's like a Carl Jung quote that's popping in my mind right now. It's like, by showing somebody else their shadow is showing them a reflection of themselves, So when we step up and we can communicate, if it's just like we're working with our own expansion, okay? Because ultimately this communication does deal with expansion with the community. And when we put ourselves out there, we put ourselves in on the chopping block. And when you're being bold enough to communicate with somebody, to show them their shadow, they might not appreciate it. So one of the things that's coming up here, if we ever had a friend, we've all had a friend who they call you up or they hang out with you and they just go bleh, and they dump their emotion of whatever's going on you. And you're like, dude, I can't take all your stuff, please, like, you didn't even communicate, you didn't even ask me if it's okay for you to have this emotional dump on me. I want to be your friend and support you, but at the same time, where am I at to be able to receive this? So it's like when people come out and ask us, like, hey, are you in a space right now that I can vent for a moment? It's a healthy, consent of communication. So the same goes with this when we're confronting people about their shadows, because we have Mars in Libra, we have the Sun connecting with Mars, we have Mercury square to Pluto. This is about us leveling up. We have the North Node and the Moon. Emotionally, we need to communicate. Emotionally, we need to talk with people, creating this connection with Jupiter. It's like you really don't escape people within the community. They always exist. Your reputation, and this is a part of it too, with this sesqui square, to the North Node and the Moon, sesqui square to Pluto, because it's like we have a reputation. How we communicate to other people will affect our reputation, because everybody talks. So we're communicating with the public, we're communicating with other people, we're communicating because we want to keep things balanced, because we care. Generally, people don't communicate with individuals they don't care about. They don't reach out and say something if they're not an important, like if there's not a reason. It's like, oh, whatever. I'm going to just drop the ball. I can drop the rope. I don't have to play tug of war with you. We can just drop the rope and I can just go live happily over there. You can keep playing tug of war you want. So anyway, coming back to the point here, this is when we're confronting someone of their shadow. And if that's where we're going today, because there's a lot of energy that suggests we might. And as well, with Neptune here creating a septile to Uranus, this is a very powerful connection, friends, because this is what, dreams come, and this is how we're changing our real, very real reality. And we can hide behind our emotions, we can hide behind them. Well, this is how I feel. Let me say something that's extremely important. You are not your emotions. You are not your feelings. You're not ruled by your emotions. You're not ruled by your feelings. You can say, I feel alone, I feel abandoned, I feel a lack of love, I feel that nobody cares about me. You can feel that in the presence of 100 people that say that they love you and appreciate you and want you around. So just because we feel it doesn't mean it's not, it doesn't mean it's there. So it's like we are not our emotions, we are not our feelings. And we can wear them like a crown, we can wear them as a giant, armor. And it's like right now Uranus is shaking that up. It's like, no, and that was part of what Virgo season was about. It's not about just the belief of your own personal feeling, but it's like, where are we really? What's the fact in front of you? And the fact in front of you is saying, I love you, I care about you, you mean something to me, but I don't feel it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're not your emotions, you're not your feelings. So now, when we're confronting somebody, and sometimes it's difficult. If a friend goes through a breakup or something and you want to console them and, oh, they never loved me. And you're like, dude, I can't listen to you say that, because they do. It just wasn't meant to be. Something like whatever it may be. It's just like sometimes we're a bit in phases. I'm only using a relationship right now as an example. And I did that last week on my full moon video, and people were like, hey, it's all going to be, I was like, no, it wasn't about me. It was just an analogy. Anyway, so when we're communicating with other people, potentially showing them their own shadow, back to consent, because it can shake people. It can shake people to the core to see their reflection, or to see their friend be like, bleh, you know, like this, whatever it may be, you know, you're projecting or blaming, you know, and that's a huge theme right now. It's just like, are we projecting? Are we blaming? Are we criticizing other people instead of taking emotional responsibility? Kind of been a theme for the week here. So if we're coming to this point, long-winded story, ask consent. Can I, you know, is it okay to talk about this with you? Is it okay to speak freely? I don't want to attack, but to open up and come. Now, I don't have the right words to say. They're within you, you know, the questions within, the answers within, the communications within, and it's just like necessary events that are going on right now. You know, all of this is very destined energy, and it's for the greater good and expansion of the community. You know, Lilith as well today, creating that trine to Mars. You know, so if we're not careful, we can unleash a type of communication that we might not be proud of later. So it's definitely, you know, again, Mercury opposing Eris. Eris is how we deal with communication. You know, if we can sit inside ourselves, we can recognize we're not our emotions, we're not somebody else's judgment on ourselves. We can maintain our balance, if you will. This is Libra season, it's all about balance. You know, the internal, the external. And are we allowing the emotional turbulence to affect our physical? Are we allowing emotional turbulence or holding back to affect our relationships with other people? Are we not communicating what needs to be communicated because we're, you know, this Venus in Scorpio at its fall, at a place where it's its weakest, where it can't express itself because it's, you know, seemingly buried beneath the surface. There's a lot going on, my friends. Happy Sunday, fun day to you. I love you. I wish you enough, and I'll see you tomorrow.